Greetings, I'm John Schlotz with Home Smart. I am an associate broker, and we're going to talk about what's going on today, June 28th, in the greater Phoenix housing market. So first of all, this story just came out. S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index was just released today. The numbers are very positive. I'm not going to go into it, but I did want to let you know that all of their numbers are based on pre-May 1st. So take that with a grain of salt. We've seen a lot of change in the past 2 months, so I'm not going to put a lot of stock into that. What's going on now in the Valley is we have seen a lot of price reductions, and here is what we're seeing. That the overall median price reduction is about 14,000. Here it's broken down by price range. We've actually seen an increase of 460% in price reduction is in the past 13 weeks, and a lot of this is from unrealistic sellers. So of course everyone's talking about what the inventory is doing right now, what active listings are doing. And yes, we are definitely high, and we are this green and red line are 2019 and 2018, and we're hitting those levels. Looks like maybe next week or the following week that we could be seeing that. So where are all of these listings coming from? Well, for one, we are seeing a lot more listings coming on. The green lines are 2022, the blue lines are 2020, and the orange are 2021. So we're seeing last month we had, over the past 3 years, one of the biggest years, or the biggest months, of new listings coming on. This month so far, we have just shy of 10,000. Currently on MLS, there are 936 coming soon, which this chart does not take into consideration. I believe by the end of this month, or the end of this week, which is the end of this month, we are going to see another record time. Where we're seeing that is in a couple of spots. One, we're seeing listings coming in by sellers who wish that it was January 2022 and they could get these fantastic prices. That's one, and that pricing is not going well. That's where we're getting those reductions. Two, the new home builders, again, we're not listing on MLS, and they are now. And we're also seeing investors selectively starting to dump some of their rentals that they just want to get out of. They don't want to put a new roof on. They don't want to do other things. So we're seeing those come up also. And then what we're also seeing is this listings under contract. So we're seeing more coming on the market, but yet we're not seeing them being absorbed, which they were for the past 2 years. And that's where we're getting this increase in inventory. So let's talk about the contract ratio. This is an interesting piece. We talked about it a couple weeks back. The contract ratio indicates how hot a market is. It specifically measures the number of completed sales contracts relative to the supply of active listings. The higher the number, the greater the buying activity relative to supply. In a balanced market, that ratio is between 30 and 60. Below 20 can be considered slow, but above 60 can be considered hot. So let's break down some of this, and I'll explain how this means something here. This is Phoenix, the actual proper city of Phoenix. And we have crossed over 2018 and 2019 levels for the contract ratio. But in Phoenix, we're still above 60. Probably we're about 662. Now, Scottsdale is still above 18 and 19 levels, but it actually has dipped below 60, and it's like 57, and it's even on a steeper curve down. And then we're going to take a look at Chandler, which is also below 18 and 19 levels, above 60. But it's coming down not near as fast at that level as what like Scottsdale was doing, and it's just almost straight down. And then the last chart I have for contract ratio here is, this is kind of an interesting story. And this is prize, and it is kind of dwindling down here. But if you look at areas like Surprise, Gilbert, Buckeye, those areas that have more affordable homes, that $500,000 and below, those areas are still fairly hot. And by definition, above 60 is hot. Well, 77 is definitely hot. I think what we're feeling here is that we were so high, and that the contract ratio has been so high for so long. A typical hot market, which well-priced, good-looking homes will sell, that they just takes time. Now, we're not selling them in one weekend. I'm going to touch in real quick on rentals because there's some interesting stuff going here on rentals. The rental inventory on MLS. Now, hear me once more. The rental inventory on MLS is growing. And because we are seeing that the household formation throughout the valley is going down, meaning we're absorbing less rentals. This big spike right here is because MCH Homes or MCH Properties, which is a single family home rental company, dumped about 275 homes on the market within the last 3 days. So that's where this big spike is. But it's not that these rental homes are new, it's that the rental homes are coming on MLS, meaning that for a long time they didn't need the MLS to get these filled with tenants, but now they do. And they're suffering a little bit more, so they are reaching out to the MLS to try to get tenants. Since we're on rentals, let's talk about rents. So this is the monthly average lease price per square foot. So for about the past year, we have kind of been flat. We really haven't gone up. We saw this huge increase for about 18 months, and now we're kind of dwindling out. And that is because affordability kicks in. At a certain point, people just can't afford to go higher in rents. They're going to go someplace else. They're going to pick up another room mate. They're going to move in back with parents or whatever. So something's going on there, and that's affordability right now. And that's where some of these landlords are saying, "Hey, I'm going to get rid of some of these homes." So right now, advice for buyers and sellers. Buyers, if you have been looking for a home for, let's say, the last year, 2 years, you've been kicked around, now may not be the perfect time to buy, but now is the time to get ready to do so. There's a lot of stuff coming down through mortgage programs and other things that could make now a really great time. Sellers, get serious, price it well, price it and present it to sell, and be nice to any buyer that brings a contract in, and you better get creative with your marketing. Oh, and also, if any of you are want to know what's going on in your specific neck of the woods, let me know. John Schlotz, Home Smart, 602-570-5905. And of course, at the very end, next week is 4th of July. Have a great 4th of July, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.